Hello there, my lovely darklings. It's your fave witch Jamila Anahata back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my favorite red smoky eye shadow look that reminds me of being a villain and a vixen at the same time. So I'm going to be using my Vampyrism palette by Jolie Beauty, and I have a lot of palettes from this brand, very good. Of course, I do it vegan and cruelty free. And let's just get started. On top of doing this eyeshadow look that I love to do, especially when I want to amp it up and be a little bit more dramatic, I want to talk about dark femininity. So when we think of being feminine or femininity, we always like to think about like women or womanhood or however you identify. But I believe that everyone can identify how they want to. We all have feminine energy, we all have masculine energy and everything else in between. So however you identify, do you. I just want to talk about femininity in general. So it's not just based on you being a woman or a femme or whatever you identify as I said before, but just having feminine energy and wanting to really focus on that and hone in on that and just embrace that energy in its totality and its beauty. So yeah, once again, let me just get ready with my eyeshadow. I love this palette. Look at it. Just look at that. And this is not sponsored, y'all. I just really like the colors in this. And once again, I'm doing a red shadow, so there is like a lot of different types of reds on this side with purple, and these are a little bit more like cool tone, like tans, grays, like shimmers as well, like golds and things like that. So I'm going to be using the more red shades right here. And of course I'm going to be doing a glitter because you can't do a really shimmery look that's smoky and all that without some glitter, you know. Once again, we're amping it up, being very dramatic here. So when I want to talk about the dark femininity, a lot of people like to feel like it is a scary thing, that it's only about being bad, or you know, when women overreact or are too emotional or are manipulative. But it's not just that. That's not what dark femininity is all about. So I'm going to be using a lighter shade in my crease, and that's probably going to be let's say I like to always do it like a neutral tone that's close to my natural eye shade. And by the way, I have my foundation and everything together, just setting my under eye. So as soon as I'm done with this look, I'm going to be putting all the powders and blush and highlight on, and I'll show you that look a little bit later. But I'm going to probably be using a neutral tone. So I'm going to probably be using Dawn, which is more of like a, not tan, but like just a neutral cool tone type brown for me for my lids. So once again, however you want to call it, like if you feel like you're feminine, no worries. If you are somebody who just wants to learn what it is, no worries. But once again, femininity and dark femininity is not about being manipulative. It is not about being harsh or too emotionally reactive, or just whatever we associate with toxic femininity or anything like that. So I just want people to get that out of their heads, especially when it comes to us demonizing darkness. That is just something that we need to just cut it. We need to cut it real quick. Because when we not only just eliminate darkness, but demonize it or place judgment on it, because I understand why darkness sounds scary. We've been all conditioned to believe that it is something to be feared, that it is something that we should avoid, especially when it comes to our emotions or any type of negative emotions. But for real, they are so necessary in order for us to grow, in order for us to have contrast. Because realistically, if we're going to be living this life, life can be joyous and heavenly and like paradise as much as we want it to be. I don't believe for 1 second that we can't enjoy life totally, 100%. However, those dark times, those moments of contrast, that darkness that we're so scared of, it is just going to make everything be put in perspective. You realize that you deserve more. You realize that, you know, that there are things that are just worth feeling, like we're feeling all of our feelings. And that's kind of what dark femininity represents for me, because I'm somebody who loves to channel it a lot. Of course, not all the time. You know, there's such thing as light femininity and everything in between. I don't like to do things that are too polar opposite. We always like to do things on the polar opposite, right? To both extremes. But we can have it all. We can do everything on the spectrum. We don't just have to choose. And that's the freedom of living our lives as consciousness experiencing itself. So what I like to think about when it comes to dark femininity is someone trying to use their, not just their pain and their sadness, but just channeling and transmuting that type of darkness within them to embody strength. Because what like people like to say is that femininity is basically strength under control. And that is so, so true. So I'm going to be, now that I have my neutral shadow blended out, I like to use this, just blend it out a little bit, because the thing about eyeshadow is that you have to blend, blend, blend. That is basically what makes eyeshadow shadow and what makes it look really good. So now I'm going to be going in with a red, and that is probably going to be, let's say seduction. And that's something that I want to talk about very, very soon on this channel. So seduction, I wanted to do immortality, but let's make it a little bit darker today, since we're talking about dark femininity. So once again, I just want people to not be scared of dark femininity or making it seem like it's an issue, because once again, as I was saying, it is basically someone, however you identify, you are going to be channeling and transmuting the darkness within you. And that usually comes in the form of you being seductive, you being protective of yourself, having boundaries, you basically just not allowing your emotions to get to you, you just not being as emotionally reactive. All those types of things really, to me, is what embodies dark femininity. And once again, there is always a downside to a lot of things if you like to go to the other side of the spectrum, because once again, we do not have to go to extremes. However, I believe that when you have that other extreme of dark femininity, or just darkness in general, a lot of people can be on the more manipulative side, more on the, how can I explain, not being considerate of other people's emotions, or trying to use their emotions to do your bidding, or to take advantage of them, or just really, really horrible things like that. And we don't want to do that, you know what I mean? We have empathy here, or at least we're practicing empathy. We want to make sure that we are being considerate of people's feelings and all that type of stuff. So no, it's a no for me when it comes to being on that opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to dark femininity, because it does not have to be that way. So now that I have a little bit of a medium toned red called Seduction, I'm going to go into, let's see, how about I go into Afterlife, which is pretty much like it's definitely a blood red, but it's more, in my opinion, it seems like it has more of like a brown undertone. And then I'll go into another color that's very similar, that's more of a blood red. So I'm going to be blending that out. Okay, cool. So yeah, y'all, that's the thing. Like, you don't want to be manipulative. We don't want to be seductive in that way. We want to basically protect ourselves from things that we know might harm us in this plane, in this world. And of course, we should always walk around, if possible, you know, it's a journey, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. We should walk around the world with a sense of trust. Honestly, we need to like trust that we're going to be okay. I know with the world that we're in, it is not easy, especially when people are undergoing marginalization and they're not getting the resources they need to survive and thrive. We do need to walk around this earth with trust and faith that there are better days, that, you know, we're going to be able to achieve our success, achieve our dreams, get everything we want. We're going to be healthy, happy, and thriving. And ain't nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. And that's what I like to use with my dark femininity, is it allows me to transmute all the anger, sadness, and pain that I've experienced in my life, and that as an empath, I basically experience with other people, you know, not sucking up, but like, I guess you could say soaking up their energy. it is just my way of transmuting all that energy and using it to my benefit, using it to flip-flop negative thoughts into empowering thoughts, using it to basically channel what I want to embody in this life, who I want to embody. And it just feels so good, because when you embody the energy that you want in your life or you want to be, ain't nothing stopping you in being that person. Nobody and nothing can stop you from being that person, being the person you so desire. And dark femininity allows you to only approve of yourself in such a way, only seek your own validation in such a way that makes you so authentic and so unbothered that you're like, you know what? I dig this. I dig me. And you use whatever feeling, whatever anxiety, whatever sadness and pain that you have within expressing yourself. And you're kind of like, look, I'm gonna flip-flop that. I'm gonna allow myself to feel the way I want to feel. So how about I say, for example, I am feeling anxious that I'm probably wearing something that might get some sort of weird attention from people. People are probably gonna think that I'm evil, blah, 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 all that type of mess. Instead of that, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use that same energy because, you know, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. I'm gonna use that same energy to be like, oh, and so what if people feel this way? And so what if people are gonna think it's evil or dark or whatever they are conditioned to believe? This is my life, this is what I want to experience, and I'm going to live it the way I feel. So dark femininity is very much so about transmutation. It's about using the energy that you have to feel pain and all those types of things to feel the way you want to feel. And that is a long time of practice, a long time of shadow work, inner work, all that type of stuff. But it feels good, y'all. And of course, there is light femininity. We'll probably get to that in another video, but right now I like to talk about darkness and all that type of stuff. And I practice light femininity in a lot of ways. Once again, we have to experience everything on the spectrum, not go to either extremes, but we'll get to that briefly. You know I'm all about darkness, y'all. So yes, I'm moving on to a darker shade of red, and that's going to be Coffin. And that is more of like a blood red, which I really, really love. So I'm just gonna use that, tap it in, and the excess, and start blending. Okay, great. So once again, I just like to build up shadows very lightly onto my crease, and then going upward. So it all blends together and looks like basically almost one color, but just with a lot of dimension. So once again, this is not really an official eyeshadow tutorial, so you're not seeing everything, but I'm sure you're able to follow. Okay, great. Blending, blending, blending. But yes, y'all, so what I like to also think about when it comes to dark femininity, and as I mentioned earlier, is seduction. And once again, seduction is something I'm going to be talking about on another video in depth. But when you're able to seduce, when you're able to allure, when you're able to interest, entice, be mysterious, be enigmatic, just basically not giving everyone everything, but in a way that they want more. You're basically giving people enough so they are wanting to be more in your presence, wanting to learn more about you, wanting to possibly do things for you, wanting to just basically whatever you set out for them to do. But the thing is, that's the thing. We're not here to be manipulative, rude, or inconsiderate, or play with people's emotions. You can get whatever you want from certain types of people, but you want to make sure it's consensual, of course. But at the same time, most of the time it is consensual. You're doing things in such a way that is natural to you, that is innate within you, that was born within you, that makes people just want more. And once again, ain't nothing wrong with that. But also, you are giving them the choice, you're giving them the option. You're telling them what you want or suggesting what you want, and it is their choice whether or not they want to give you the solution. And most of the time they will, depending on how much you've practiced on your seductive tendencies or your ability to be alluring or captivating or, once again, mysterious. So now that I've done a lot in my crease, I'm going to tap into my Life Force. I love that. Life Force shadow, which is like a bright red that's a shimmer. Once again, tapping off the excess. And I'm gonna put that on my lid. I have my own process of doing eyeshadow. I'll definitely show you all in a future video. But let's just get on to the chat, why don't we? So that's what basically I like to do. Is this is not being mysterious, or excuse me, this is not being like manipulative. That's the word I'm looking at, all these M words. This is not being manipulative, and this is not being rude, this is not being inconsiderate, this is not being toxic. I'm not really a fan of that word, but whatever, let's just use that for right now. But this is basically just you being so captivating, you being so irresistible, you being so delicious, or whatever type of word. I don't like to use that word either, but that's what we're doing today. You being that person that people have no choice. They just really want to do that for you. And there is nothing wrong with that. If people want to do that for you, love them, receive. And that goes back into femininity, is where you are allowing yourself to receive. And a lot of these times, in the world that we live in today, it is hard for women or people who are more feminine aligned to receive, because we're all go, go, go. A lot of us don't really understand our sense of worth. A lot of us don't feel like we are deserving of great and nice things. And that is really very, very much so unfortunate, because we were born worthy. We were born deserving. And a lot of us have forgot about that along the way, which is not our fault. It's a lot to do with our conditioning. But once you tap into that, once you understand your worth, once you know that you are deserving of everything, once you know that you are able to get anything, it might be challenging in the physical realm, but once you understand that you are able to get anything, the universe is so expansive, so vast. I do not believe that we are as limited as we think we are. We are limitless. We are powerful. We are capable of getting everything that we want. So I feel like when you understand that as a feminine person, as a woman, whatever, whoever, however you identify, you're able to receive. And once again, in the Western world, it's hard for women to receive. It's hard for us to be able to allow people to do things for us, to make things easier for us, because when it comes to femininity, it allows you to live life with ease. That's basically what that's all about. Being able to be wise, be living with ease, being able to create, being able to feel, being able to be. And that's not activities or tasks or whatever you want to call it as, that a lot of us are feeling like we're deserving of doing these days, because we have to work, we have to survive, all that type of stuff. Understandable. Now I'm going to be going into a regular black color, just black, nothing special, called Shadows. Ooh, love it. So I'm going to be smoking that out a little bit. Perfect. So yes, y'all, femininity, like, it is the energy of receiving, it is the energy of allowing, it is the energy of creation, it's the energy of wisdom, it is the energy of, it really is, there's just no one way to define it. It could be whatever you want it to be. However, those are the ways that it can be channeled, very much so. So when we don't allow ourselves to receive, and we don't allow ourselves to just be not taken care of, because we're all able of taking care of ourselves. But when we just allow ourselves to just let people handle it, sometimes it's okay to let other people handle it. Relinquish that control. Understanding that we can't do everything, and it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to receive help. All those types of things can be so helpful for our mentality, for our bodies, for how we feel about ourselves, or all that type of stuff. So especially when it comes to the independent Black woman trope, y'all, let me tell you something. That is something that I have been working on this past year, something that I had to really analyze within myself to see if that was something I identified with or something that I have channeled. And I can't lie, just like a lot of people, I have fell for that trap. And it's hard for us out here, especially when you're a black woman or feminine aligned. You really do feel like you don't have anyone to help you out. You really feel like you're on your own because in a lot of ways, you had to grow up early. I just feel like even when I was a child, I've always been very feminine aligned, but I really feel like even when I was a child, I was just not a child. I was a little adult. I was like an adult in a child's body. And although I didn't realize that as a child, as you wouldn't, it really took its toll on me when I got to college or when I left college and really had to live my life on my own. I actually worked all through college. I moved out of my parents' house in college, early college basically. I went vegan early college. So there was a lot of things that I did that I was responsible for. Whoops, camera died. But as I was saying, yeah, I was responsible for many things on my own when I was in college, my early 20s. And although I enjoyed the freedom, I realized that it was just something that I was used to. I was used to that anyway. Even though I definitely did get a lot of support from my parents, but there were a lot of things we were not able to do when I was younger. And I do not blame anyone for that. That's just how it be sometimes. But yeah, it was wild because it wasn't until I think last year that I realized, wow, actually to tell you the truth, y'all, it wasn't until this year, a few months ago in fact, in May, about 4 months ago, that's when I realized, wow, I try to do everything on my own because I always have. And it was something that was so normal for me that I didn't even realize I was doing it. And it was hurting me more than helping me. And that's basically what helped me learn more about femininity. And as somebody who's spiritual, I've always had a grasp on it, but I've learned so much more about it this year than ever before, including how it has helped my spiritual journey. Just because I realized that I can't do it all on my own. I do need help, and I'm not going to be scared anymore to ask for help, to receive the help, even if it's just me lifting up a heavy box. If I'm carrying groceries with my reusable bag, and it seems like a little bit heavier, and if I'm alone, I'll let my boo help me out, or I'll let anybody else help me out, regardless of their gender. So it's just like that, y'all. Dark femininity it's more than just being spooky or being evil or being manipulative or all those types of things that we deem as toxic. It is having boundaries with yourself and with other people. It is allowing yourself to be seductive and seduce not only the people that are consensually you're going to go after, but just the universe. The same energy that seduces other people is the same thing that seduces the universe. So, you know, that's why I always say your desires desire you, because if you're a person that you're trying to attract into your life can desire you, so can your desires that haven't taken physical form yet. So, and when it comes to boundaries, it's like protecting yourself. A lot of our shadows, a lot of our darkness, a lot of the things lurking in our subconscious mind. By the way, I'm pretty much finished up here. I'm going to be adding a glitter on it, but I'm going to finish the other side and show y'all later. But I'm going to be adding the medium and darker reds that I have in my crease and put it on my bottom lash line. But yes, y'all. So I really feel like when you're using your subconscious mind is primed for survival. Just like your conscious mind, just like us as animals, it is primed for survival. And because of that, when you are aware of what's lurking in the surface of your subconscious mind, or you are aware of the type of past pain or experiences that you had that makes you react a certain type of way or puts you in survival mode, that is what gives you your boundaries, because you're like, look, I'm not letting this happen to me again. I'm not going to have this ruin my sense of self or possibly harm me or damage me or kill me, because realistically, that's what survival is all about. You're trying to stay alive, and that's why the ego is ego in? You know what I mean? And we'll talk more about the ego. And I'm just thinking about all types of topics today for future videos. But once again, we'll get to it when we do. But yes, so you need to have your boundaries. And when you're in your dark feminine energy, you are allowing yourself to, I don't want to say clap back with it, but you're allowing yourself to stand up for yourself. You're not taking anything from nobody, but you're doing it in a tasteful way. Of course, a tasteful and respectful way, because there is no real reason to be disrespectful unless you need to. But dark feminine energy, it makes you not scared to express your boundaries or just express yourself in general in all your authenticity. So once again, I'm going to talk more about dark feminine energy in its totality in a future video. But it looks like I'm pretty much done with this eye. I have a little bit more to do with it. But honestly, it's gonna take me 3.5 years to get it finished if I do it on camera. So once again, just blending one more time. I'm gonna do the glitter, the eyeliner, do the other side, and do the rest of my powders and all those types of things, and I'll show y'all the finished look later. But yes, just to close out with this topic right now, y'all, dark feminine energy is where it's at. It is not scary, it is not evil. It is literally just a necessary part of expressing your femininity, however you identify. And what I like more about it and why I like to stay a lot in it is not only because I like darker things. I love horror, I love goth fashion and culture, I love metal and death metal and all those types of things, and I am proud of it. But it just makes things so not scary. It makes the world feel so much less scary, especially since you're just owning your power. You know, of course, when it comes to light femininity, you are compassionate, kind, sweet, nurturing, and those are all types of things I also embody, and that I think is very important to embody as well. But on the flip side of that, you're allowing yourself to stand up for yourself when needed. You're allowing yourself to tap into your seductive energy when you need it. You're allowing yourself to feel your feelings in a healthy way when you need it. It's just all when you feel like it's necessary. You pick and choose when you need all those types of things. And for someone like me, even though I'm always mostly in my light feminine energy, best believe I'm doing the dark too. So yes, I'll show y'all the finished look later, but let me just show y'all up close what it looks like so far in the proto stage. Ugh. And I'm back. So here's the completed look. I'll just go up closer, show you my eyeshadow. I did my eyeliner. I like to do a wing and a little inward ring. And I always like to do my ombre red lip with a black outline. And today I did my hair in a pin curl with some makeshift victory rolls. And it's a little bit, I don't want to say it's too difficult on locks, definitely doable, but I'm still trying to perfect my technique on this so I can show you all in the future. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you liked the eyeshadow get ready with me chit chat about dark femininity type video I did today. I had a lot of fun with you all. Let me know, do you know a lot about dark femininity? Do you know about femininity in general? Either way, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe for more content, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Soulful Veganista. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love, and until next time, my lovely darklings. Bye-bye.